Hey everybody, Jazzy here. I'm spending the last couple of weeks over on Twitch getting a little more comfortable with the reworked Weber. On one of the most recent streams, I did a couple of attempts at a BeeQueen rush. So I want to give you a synopsis on the run in case you're interested in trying out Weber with the new spiders and attempting BeeQueen in your first autumn. It wasn't the fastest run, but it was the cleanest, so I thought it would be better for demonstration purposes. So let's get started. Day one, I'm grabbing half a stack of grass and twigs and just going straight into the mosaic biome for gold. We got the science machine ready, and we also catch sight of a deciduous biome, which is really great to find early on. Before I go in, I want to check the sinkhole near spawn. In the caves, I'm grabbing a couple of light bulbs for a lantern, but I'm mainly looking for either a red mushroom forest or a stalagmite biome. That's where we can get both cave spiders and spitters, which are a big upgrade from normal spiders. This sinkhole was a bust, so I'm going back up and checking out the deciduous forest. First sight of pigs, I throw down my science machine and craft a backpack and a spear. I like to prototype boards and cut stone even if I plan on smashing pig houses, because there's nothing worse than running out of those materials when trying to rebuild an alchemy engine. I'm also going to prototype a razor, which will be important for gathering silk. Now I'm killing a couple pigs for large meat and smashing houses for the pig skin and materials. Then I can throw down the alchemy engine. I'm going to prototype a meat whacker, a foosball helmet, and the flex light. Then smash and pre-build. I'm going to swoop in and grab a single piece of gears from the clockwork so that I can make a meat fridge at BeeQueen, which we find on day 3. Honestly, this is the absolute best start to a run I could have hoped for. I'm going to put down the alchemy engine and build an icebox and a fire pit. I'm also planting the first den as early as possible. Dens take 5 to 10 days to upgrade, and the more that grow naturally, the more silk I can save for switcherdoodles, armor, and other den upgrades. I'm smashing the beehives around the biome to get rid of the bees, plus we're gonna need honey to make the nurse switcherdoodles. Then I'm gonna unload some inventory and we are gonna go hunt for more spiders. Day 4, we find a rocky biome with spiders, including a few that have already upgraded to tier 2. First thing we need to do is start some spider wars. Now we do this by feeding meat to a spider to befriend 3 of them. Then we fake attack a neutral spider by targeting it, but canceling the attack animation before the hit lands. This will start a chain reaction, which will draw all nearby spiders into the fight. If all your friendly spiders die, just befriend some more and restart. You're going to want to hold down your action button to pick up monster meat as soon as it drops, otherwise the spiders are going to eat it. Now we want more dens to plant at BeeQueen, so I'm going to upgrade a couple tier 2 dens to 3. This actually still nets you silk, because upgrading costs 5 silk, but tier 3 dens drop 6. But then we head back to BeeQueen to plant another 2 dens and let them marinate for a while. I'm also going to start cooking a couple stacks of monster meat. This will be the meat I use to recruit the army, but I'm not going to cook all of the monster meat, so I have some left for making switcherdoodles. Day 6, I cracked the sinkhole at the swamp and discovered the stalagmite terrain. Unfortunately, I left all my monster meat behind, but I can craft a trap to murder one spider for meat. Then I can befriend a spitter and unlock cave spiders at the same time. This was the first run I actually found these guys, so I'm excited to have a few join the fight. Back upstairs on day 7, I finally found a forest, so I'm clearing out all the dens from here. Tier 1 den should always be shaved, because you get a total of 3 silk instead of 2. You can still kill the 2 spiders inside for extra loot. Be careful when attacking spiders yourself. After a while, it can be hard to distinguish between neutral and friendly spiders, and certain spider smiles are not the most obvious. One clue that would have saved me from embarrassment right here is if they're sleeping during the day, they're definitely not friendlies. I almost got creamed by 5 hostile warriors right here. So yeah. Lots of spider glands. At this point, I need to find a touchstone, and luck would have it, we got one right next to a tier 2 den. That is incredible world gen, because we need a tier 3 den to unlock nurse spiders. Here's how we do it. Step 1, upgrade the den. Step 2, get naked. Step 3, dab a spider. Step 4, die. Step 5, spam haunt the den. Every haunt gives a 10% chance of spawning a spider queen, which is the only reliable way to get a queen this early without a queen's gathering set piece. There's always the chance that you run out of death time, but so far I haven't had that happen. Now we're gonna bait the queen into spawning nurse spiders. To do this, she needs to have a combat target, so we're just gonna aggro her ourselves. Then every spider she spawns will have a 1 in 5 chance of being a nurse. I prefer to let the nurses lose aggro, then run back in and befriend them, then swoop them up. The nice thing about Weber is, if he gets overrun by warriors at any time, Feeding just one of them will return the spiders back to neutral, which includes the queen. Then you can go in and befriend whatever nurses and warriors you want. After grabbing 5 nurses, I'm gonna kill the queen, because she drops tons of silk and we get the egg back. Then I'm clearing out the rest of the forest and planting the dens back at BeeQueen. I'm gonna upgrade these dens one time and farm the spiders for a bit more silk. The dens will repopulate when we upgrade them anyway. I need to make one more run to grab some large meat, honey, and some extra silk. I probably could have started to recruit spiders, but I wanted to make sure that we'd have enough nurses. So I'm taking a little extra time and playing it a bit safe. Some of the rocky biome dens upgraded to tier 2, so I'm just gonna shave them down. You don't get any extra silk this way, but it's faster than whistling for spiders and then smashing the den. At this point, I'm gonna craft all the switcherdoodles I can. I didn't end up farming a ton of niter, so I can only make 1 extra spitter. But a handful of cave spiders will be nice, and they should last a bit longer than regular spiders. There will be a lucky 13 nurse spiders for the fight, which is the most important member of the entourage. Killing a quick deer in the deciduous for some meat, and burning a single tree for a single piece of coal. Back at BeeQueen, I say okay to the boomer and hop into a tier 3 den to sleep off my low sanity. Nothing is worse than going insane in this fight, and grumblebees have some pretty nasty auras. Then, before the day, I'm going to make 4 beekeeper hats, but I don't plan on using them all. Still, it'll be helpful in the second half of the fight. First thing in the morning, I start whistling the spiders out and recruiting them. I like doing this during the day so I can get some warriors too. The big danger is misclicking on a moving spider and dropping your meat on the ground. Spiders can gobble up a stack in a matter of seconds, so pick it up fast if you do miss. Once I get the troops together, I'm going to wait until the next day to start the fight. Now, I do this because I only have a single light source, and I'm worried that the spiders will push me away from my lantern if I hammer the hive at night. Now the fight can start. For the first 2 phases, I am focused mainly on keeping all the spiders aggroed on BeeQueen. I do this by fake throwing the boomerang the same way I fake attacked spiders to start wars. If I can stay close enough to the fighting, then it's possible to keep BeeQueen aggroed on me and not my spiders, which will keep them from dying off too quickly. If BeeQueen screeches, just let the spiders flop around for a second and then start fake attacking again to refocus them. Now when she gets to half health, she'll start screeching a lot more often. This is where I'm gonna start to fight her more myself. I'm still trying to lure as many grumblebees away from her while staying on the creep. Then, if there's an opportunity to hit her before I get swarmed by bees, I'll move in for some damage. This will also retarget the spiders when they're done being scared little babies. She'll usually fly off to the side after taking a little damage, and this is a great time to chase her for a few hits. If the grumblebees are guarding her, then just use the boomerang to retarget the spiders, then smack her as she flies away. If at any point your spiders get split between the grumbles and the queen, you can blow the whistle to get them all back on you, then just refocus them back on BeeQueen. Day 16, BeeQueen goes down. The run prior, I think I got her a couple days earlier, but the fight was pretty sloppy and I lost a lot more resources. For this fight, I believe I only lost a single nurse, which is pretty good. The spitters and the cave spiders all lived, and most of the warriors survived too. So to answer the question, I mean, it depends on how fast you consider a rush to be, but I think Weber is pretty good for rushing BeeQueen. He's not going to be as fast as Wendy or Wolfgang, simply because of the grinding required to get nurses and build enough dens. But once all this infrastructure is in place, you will have some very cheap and easy subsequent BeeQueen fights. The major costs are meat and silk, both of which are incredibly easy to farm as Weber. The dens will always be around and multiply over time as they spawn queens, which will plant more dens. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a lie. The major cost is to my own sanity in having to listen to the screaming of hundreds of spiders throughout this fight. I have yet to see a mod that mutes spider sounds. If someone knows about one, please post in the comments. Because honestly, that is the one thing that turns me off about the character at this point. Despite my initial trepidation about the rework, I think it's in a really good spot right now. Weber is a very strong character, and the playstyle he introduces, it's really nothing like any other survivor. So, give him a shot if you haven't yet. I need to thank Orange for his super helpful videos on fighting BeeQueen as Weber, so go watch it if you haven't. Also, Lardy has a superb tips and tricks video on managing spiders and rushing the nurse spider. But that's it. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of the rework. And thank you for watching. See you next time.